of public speaking. Number one, be prepared. All right, we're going to talk about how to prepare yourself, and with that preparation comes confidence, comes that ability to stand and command a room. Number two, be passionate. It doesn't matter what the topic is. It doesn't matter if your history teacher is making you give a presentation. There's a reason to be passionate, and it's up to you to figure out why the topic matters to your audience. And number three, be personable. You gotta understand that we are all putting pants on one leg at a time. Nobody is some big deal. Every single individual in this room is important. And when you have a microphone in your hand, what you're doing is sharing information. So you're gifting people with information as a public speaker. And there really aren't many greater gifts on the face of the planet than giving someone information. And we're going to talk about that as well today. So the 3 P's, be prepared, be passionate, and be personable. Number one, public speaking. People say they would rather face off against tarantulas or crazy things like that than give a public speech. And you have to ask yourself why. Fear is nonsense, all right? Number one, remember the 3 P's. It'll make it easy for you. Number two, as I mentioned, information is a gift. You're giving somebody the chance to be motivated, to be inspired. You're giving somebody the chance to maybe change their perspective. And with that change, you can change lives. You never know what type of impact your words can have on somebody in your audience. So, information is a gift. And don't forget, every time you post on Facebook, you're practicing your public speaking, so it's no big deal. All forms of public speaking, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, all of that is public speaking, ladies. Let's start at the basics though, because number one, you do need to make sure you stand tall, your head is up, and your shoulders are back. That gives you the correct posture to not only look like you know what you're talking about, but also to project and make sure that your voice is resonating throughout the room. That's key. So those are the basics. Stand tall, head up, shoulders back. Number one, be prepared to know your audience. Know who you're speaking to and know that they are your audience. That they're looking to you to be able to be engaged, to be motivated, to be inspired. So help them through that. Know your audience. As I mentioned, know your material. If you are giving a presentation for class or in business or in college, then you need to make sure you do your due diligence and create some material that will answer the question, why is my audience interested in this? How can this help their lives? Things like that. And then also being prepared, you need to have a beginning, middle, and end. Most attention spans are very, very short. So you have to help people out by letting them know, okay, this is the beginning. We're in the home stretch. We're on the home stretch, and then conclude appropriately at the end as well. When you're prepared, what that does is that helps lead your audience. It helps them know that you are sharing information, that you are giving them a gift. And when you lead your audience like that, they'll stick with you the whole time. Even if you have a little bit longer presentation because you're talking about U.S. history or things like that. So always make sure you tell them what you're going to tell them. So at the beginning of a presentation, you just give a brief synopsis of what you're going to cover. And then you tell them. You give them the meat, and gravy, and the goodies. And then tell them what you told them. At the end of every presentation, when you're giving a public speech, make sure that you reiterate what people have discovered today and what they've learned, and that'll help them along the way too. Practice equals confidence. So in your preparation, be sure to practice. Give a speech or two, and do so in front of the mirror. Why is that? Because it'll show you how animated you are. It'll make you smile at yourself. It'll make you know that when you're talking about a certain topic and you don't really like it and you do that, it's not a good look. So it'll let you know that too. So practice in front of the mirror. Practice in an empty room. That way you can hear your own voice carry throughout a room, and that way you can say, okay, I'm a little too quiet at this point. I need to put my shoulders back, head up, chest up. That way my voice carries. That's a really big key. In order to give a good public speech, you want to make sure that people can hear you. If they can't hear you, you might be sharing some great wisdom and giving them some great gifts of information. Doesn't do them any good. So practice in an empty room, because that is a really good key. And then be sure to practice with some friends. Again, the more you give public speeches, the better off you're going to be and the more confident you'll be. So practice with some friends and ask them to create distractions for you. Why? You want to be unflappable. You want to be the person that if your PowerPoint presentation stops working, guess what? You have a backup. So that distraction doesn't bother you. You know that the gift of information that you're sharing with your audience who are coming here hoping to receive some great wisdom from you, you know that they're more important than any distraction. So you're good to go. Practice with distractions. And again, all that practice just leads to that confidence, that ability to say, I got this, no big deal. And there's nothing better than that, right, ladies? Number 2, you gotta be passionate about what you're speaking about. You know you're prepared, you know your material, you've done your due diligence, and you know the audience that you're going to be speaking to. So now you need to know that you gotta be passionate to project that information to your audience. Well, how do you get passionate about something like, I don't know, Ulysses S. Grant and if you're giving a history presentation? Well, number 1, you understand that information is a gift. And I can't tell you how many times I've discussed a story on my radio show, and 3 weeks later, I'm at a grocery store or at the gas station, and a listener will come up to me and say, thank you so much for sharing that story with us. My daughter is now doing this. My son is now doing this. Information is a gift. The more we can share it, the more we enrich the lives of the people around us, and the more our lives are then enriched as well. So it doesn't matter what the topic is necessarily. It's up to you to be passionate about it and to make it interesting. Because if you're bored, guess what, ladies? Your audience is too. You're going to see the snooze fest right in the front row and the whole thing. So if you're bored, know that your audience is too. But on the flip side, if you enjoy yourself, your audience will as well. So number 2 of the 3 P's of public speaking, be passionate. You can help your audience connect the dots. You can be the person that says, well, I know that I'm giving a presentation about U.S. history, but here's why it matters right now. And you can be the person that connects those dots for your audience. And always ask yourself before you give a speech, why does this matter? And number 3, why does this matter to my audience? When I'm giving a speech to any particular group of people, you want to make sure you understand who you're going to be speaking to and why the topic is important to them. For this particular presentation, I wanted to make sure that you ladies knew how important you are, and that when you share that gift of information, you can change lives. So you're going to be hearing a lot about that today, because that's what's important for you and your lives at this stage. So connect the dots for people and never underestimate how important it is for you as a public speaker to be that connection for them, to bring them that information that could possibly change their perspective, change the direction in which they're living their lives, help to inspire them. Again, not many things greater on the face of the planet than that. My 3rd P. So number 1 was be prepared. Number 2, be passionate. And number 3, be personable. As I said, we're all just putting on our pants one leg at a time. Got some great looking shoes in the audience. We're all just regular people. I don't care if you're Lady Gaga. I don't care if you're Brad Pitt. I don't care if you think you're a big shot. You're not. You're a normal person who's trying to get through every day. And when we can connect on a very basic level like that, public speaking just becomes talking with a bunch of friends. Not as big a deal, not a daunting task. So be personable. When you're prepared and you're passionate, guess what's going to happen? You're going to knock their socks off. You can't go wrong. And I guarantee that. You can't go wrong. And as I mentioned, information is a gift. And when you understand that, when you understand that what you're doing is not just giving a speech and just having to hunker down and then just get through it, When you understand that you're sharing some really incredible nuggets of wisdom or history or fascination or discovery with someone else, gosh, it becomes a whole lot more interesting all of a sudden. So understand that, really mold that over, ladies, throughout the rest of the day, because you're going to be receiving a lot of information today, whether it's about body image or how to conduct yourself with kindness and graciousness, that's all fantastic information. Those are gifts being bestowed upon you. And I hope you really recognize that for what it is. And again, you're sharing all that with your audience. And don't forget, it's your audience. They're waiting for you to share that with them. So if you hold back and if you say, I'm a little shy, I don't really know what I'm going to do here, they're missing out on as much as you are. So don't hold back. Don't diminish the message that you have. Be sure to share it with your audience, because you know what? They're all just regular people anyway. So they're going to enjoy what you have to say. And as I mentioned, information can change lives. I see that on my radio show all the time. There's a real, words matter. And when you give that positive message, when you can help somebody understand, change a perspective with new information, then you're doing them a great service. You can always inspire people, it motivates people. Information speaking, you're sharing that gift. I think the slide speaks for itself. Ladies, it's so important to smile. It is so important to smile and enjoy yourself when you're giving a speech. And you want to know what? I've had so many flubs. I have messed up so many times in really, really important situations where I'm just thinking, there's no way I can recover from that. And when you mess up, you're thinking, oh my gosh, everybody heard that, everybody saw it, that was disastrous. And you know what? If you ask people the next day or even 5 minutes later what they remember, they're not going to remember your mess up. They're going to remember your smile. They're going to remember the information, the gift you gave them. They're going to remember that. Part of being personable is smiling. Make eye contact with the people that are in your audience. A, it'll keep them awake. And B, it'll let them know that you really do care, that this speech is as important to you as it is to them.
Smile, smile, smile. And don't forget to laugh. Infuse some humor into your speech as much as you can. Smile, 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 and laugh. So let's wrap it up. The 3 P's of public speaking. It's really easy. Public speaking is very easy and actually kind of a lot of fun. I do it for a living. 15 hours a week, I'm speaking to the public on my sports talk radio show. Be prepared, be passionate, and be personable. And it's really just that simple. And then everything else will take care of itself. But don't be scared, all right? Be passionate, be prepared, be personable. And don't forget, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, all social media is public speaking. So you practice a lot, and you probably don't even realize it.